Welcome this morning. Today is the first day of Mercury retrograde, and I thought I would come on this morning and just do a quick little message. Nothing too big. First of all, Mercury retrograde is a time where everything appears to go backwards. It's an illusion, basically. A lot of people think that okay, because we're in retrograde, we're going to have, all of this chaos. There is no chaos. It's according to what you're expecting, like anything else, basically, right? It's a matter of what you are expecting to receive during this time. It really is just an illusion. It's an optical illusion at night where things appear to be going backwards. They're actually not, but it just looks that way, according to what I understand. And it's just a time to understand too that everything is exactly the way that it should be, right? It's just an illusion created in the changing perspective from Earth as we orbit the sun. And so, with that being said, I was listening to someone who has been very encouraging to me, and they were talking about the energy that we're in right now and the fact that we're in a time where truth is so important right now. And she was talking about how she brought up the subject of truth bombs. You know how sometimes when you hear something and it just kind of resonates so deep in your heart that it almost implodes from the inside out. Have you ever felt that? Like you've heard a truth and you cannot deny, no way, no how, that is true for you, right? It's just mind blowing, right? And I got to thinking when they were talking about that, and I was like, yeah, I've had many of those experiences, but as I think about it, I haven't had a truth bomb experience it's been a long time. Now that I think about it, it's like, wow. There has been those times where I've sat and I've heard something, or I've listened to someone, and it was like this overwhelming sense of like, I could not deny that it was true. And it's been a long time since I felt that, since I've really resonated with anything that I've come across. And I think it also kind of alludes to the time that we're in. Like we're in a very elusive time. We're in a very interesting time. Even as we look at how we are relating to each other and how things are kind of unfolding. And we take a look at things like separation that's happening right now. It seems like everybody in every way, like things are just more challenging than ever. Like if there is something that can be separated, it's being challenged right now. And so that just really caused me to stop and really think. And I think it also, for me, says that there is sometimes a lack of what's the word that I can use? Sometimes there's a lack of sincerity, a lack of depth, a lack of authenticity, just in general, in how things are right now. It's very difficult to find right now. And so, in a world where that is the case, and we struggle with finding, especially as we talk about like, what's going on in the world, political themes and all of this stuff that's taking place. And it's like built on this very false sense of truth, false sense of even intentions. Like we look at what's happening in the world today, like all of these different things that just have us flabbergasted and our mouths are on the floor. Like, how could this ever happen in 2025? But it goes back to this idea about not really having a solid truth, right? Grounded truth. And it says a lot about where we are too. It says a lot about where we are. And I always like to talk about the energy of being able to build on solid foundation. And it's bringing me the energy of the tower. I feel like we've been in the tower for just a long time. It's been like maybe a decade or more. Since COVID, maybe. I don't feel like anything has ever gone back to the way that it was before COVID hit. we've just been kind of striking that same chord ever since and just kind of going downhill. But I also understand too that in order for the new to come in, the old has to be destroyed. There's no way around that. And so this is part of that unfolding and unwinding of what has been built up, right? And so, but that just really, it struck a chord with me this morning. And it's something that, it doesn't worry me, but it's something that I have to stop and really take a look at. It's something to take note of. I'll say that. The fact that we're in a time where we have to even question what is true. The fact that we have to question it means that we need to question it. We need to stop. We need to be as informed as possible. We need to be, looking and paying attention and seeking and getting as much information as we can. We can't afford not to. And so that's just something that kind of is sitting on my heart this morning. The lack of depth is what I'm feeling. And the lack of depth, or the lack of like that sense of connection, right? And so, but it's all pitted around, I feel like, as I look at it, it's pitted around the lack of authenticity though. It's almost like when you sit and you listen to someone and they're talking, like maybe someone's having a speech, a political speech or something, and they say something that's just so profound. And it's like, yes, right? There's no doubt about what you're saying right now. That's true. Even down to a soul core level. Like there's something that's shifted. There's something amiss right now in the energy that we're in. And I just say that to say that, we're in a time where we can't really afford to be asleep or just let things kind of roll by, hoping that, things will eventually turn out. Like we need to really, really be aware and be connected, if not with others in that way, be connected with our own sense of truth, what's true for us. And so, I'm burning an incense, so it's a little bit strong. But anyway, that's where I was this morning. We're going to go ahead and tap into the energy. If y'all hear me, if y'all feel that way too, comment, let me know what your experience has been around that. Let me see. I am going to pull out my Urban Crow Tarot and Oracle for the message today. It just feels like that kind of energy to me. And how are you guys doing this morning? Welcome. And I'm so rude of me not to introduce myself. Blood Moon Oracle. And coming to you this morning, like, share, comment, subscribe if you feel led to do so. And this is your time coming by the page here. If you find yourself subscribing, if you would consider hitting the bell so you'll be notified whenever I go live. I appreciate you all. All right, let's see. So what is the message of encouragement today? All right, here we go. There is definitely a message. So we have grief, balance, release, and dominance. Okay. And this deck is so honest, and so blatant. It's almost like the energy, you can't deny the energy that this Oracle deck many times reveals, right? So there's something that is definitely being released. With release and grief, doesn't mean that it's easy. It could be very difficult here, but there's something being released. As you look in the middle, there's almost like a serenade to this and a final sign off, right? As the birds are now, leaving behind what has been released. It's almost like coming to the acknowledgement of something past. Not that it wasn't important, it was, but it's past, and now it's time to move, forward. Give it its due and then move forward, right? There's something about that in order to um, balance right now, and be able to stand without being shifted or maybe swayed back and forth, right? With balance coming out. Like I was just talking about that sense of foundation, having a strong foundation is coming out here as well. And because of that, being able to stand, right? In difficult times or in times where things feel like they are fragile or um, even like being in a difficult situation, still being able to stay balanced and also being able to um, stand in a position of defense as well. With dominance coming in, it almost feels like the energy of having to fight, being subjugated, even, this is like really standing in your power, understanding the power that you hold, the truth that you carry in moving forward and walking away, right? And so I do feel like the message coming in is all around spirit, really pushing things forward, balancing things out, and even empowering. This feels like a challenging moment for whatever reason. That could mean different things for different people. We are in Mercury retrograde. And so this could even talk about the energy of having to deal with the illusion of things coming back around. Remember, retrograde is not really, we give it the power that it has. I'll say that. We give it the power that it has. And so the illusion of everything going backwards, right? We may see what looks like things coming back around, but they're not really. They're not really. It's just an illusion, right? And so this is all about release. It's about letting things stay in the past, letting things go, and moving up, moving forward. And through that, I do feel like balance is a huge reward from that, and release from anything that may have tried to dominate in the past. I've been seeing a lot of stories as I'm watching on social media about women and about women struggling to really stand in their power when it comes to like relationships and connections. And sometimes, there is the issue, and I'm not saying it's easy. I haven't really had a lot of experience with DV, physical DV, but it seems like there's a lot of, and I'm going to say behavior of not just, sometimes it can be mental, restraint or abuse, but sometimes it goes even to the extreme when a person is not able to be manipulated or controlled. It's almost like whatever measure is necessary for the controller, that's the method that they resort to. And so I've been seeing like a lot of just these scenarios from mental to emotional, even physical. And I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. Like the amount of stuff that we are subjugated to or subject to. And that's kind of like this energy here. Like for those that have walked away from things like that, there may be like an illusion of this type of energy trying to come back, or maybe even proposing to come back. It's an absolute no. It's an absolute no, right? So for whoever you are, if you are in a situation right now where that energy is trying to come back around, and it has already proven, the weight of what was the intention here. It's an absolute no. Don't be deceived with this energy, right? Because there may be even illusions of this energy changing or making promises, right? That's usually what happens in these situations. And I've been just seeing so many of these situations where there's this type of abuse that's happening on every level. And so this is really a time I feel like, and I don't know if that's where we're going, but that's what's coming up for me. Spirit is wanting us to not be deceived. High Priestess coming out. not be deceived, but understand too that your truth, which we're talking about now, it lies within. It lies within you. There's a certain need here to trust yourself, even if you can't trust nobody else. And sometimes that's the case too. Like every time we open up to trust somebody, it's always ends up being something maniacal, you know? But even in that case, even the more so, understand that you can trust yourself. Even if you can't trust nobody else, Spirit is saying, trust yourself, right? And if someone has already proven to you, or this situation has already proven that it is not trustworthy or it is not beneficial, like believe it, believe it. And this energy is all about release, right? Do what you need to do to grieve it, move on. That's where your balance is. That's what this is about. This is about you trusting your truth. What is the truth that's ringing inside of you? And that's just what's coming up for me. It doesn't have to be with connections. This could be anything. This could be within the political field. You're trying to figure out what side you need to be on in this situation where everything seems to be being divided right down the middle. You have to choose a side. Not necessarily. You don't have to choose a side. You can choose yourself, right? Even in the, when it comes to election times, there's those that don't choose anybody. They choose their own, political independent parties. Some of us don't even vote. Like, it's like, I'm not even going to play the game. And so there's something here about Spirit saying, right now we're in a time to trust yourself. There might not even be a lot outside of ourselves to trust right now. But one thing's for sure, you can trust yourself, okay? So believe what you're seeing, believe what you're feeling, and don't second guess, okay? We have the Hermit coming out here, which is supporting this energy. I feel like this is absolutely a time where many of us find ourselves kind of off to the side somewhere. Even if it doesn't appear to be that way, internally, that's how it is. Everybody is kind of off in their own little corner, seeking wisdom for themselves. And if we're not, that's probably where we need to be, because we're in a time right now where, we're in a time right now where we need to have that space to critically think and really to operate within our own sense of truth and understanding. And I feel like for whoever I'm talking to, you've been here for a while. The world is here. You've already come to that conclusion. And so this is not really anything surprising for you. And Spirit is bringing this up to let you know, like, even in this season, things may look like they've changed, but they haven't. And you were right to end it, to shut the door, to walk away, to move over in your own space and operate from that space. You were right. No matter how things may look right now, it is still what it was when you made the decision to move off into your own space, into your own world even, right? There's something about that actually elevated you. The fact that you were able to move off into your own space, into your own lane, even, I'm hearing. There's something about you wanting to create something here too with the Page of Wands. Like, you saw things differently. You could be someone who sees the world differently. You may have your own interesting worldview that's really unique and different. You may desire to create something new that's never existed, that's never been done, that's never been seen. There's something very unique about this energy of the Page of Wands and how you're seeing and thinking. It's something that may be very far off from the norm. I'm seeing that. And it's supported. I feel like you have a sense of support from the universe with the Wheel of Fortune. This is being surrounded with all of the energy, the elemental energy I'm hearing, to move in that energy. It's almost like being given a hand up, right? There's something about lots of support coming in for you as you move forward here in the future. Things will very well be in your favor in the future for whatever that is. Yeah, with the Three of Wands, moving forward. Again, I feel like this is for some who have been working in this area already. And so this is for those that have already been operating in the area of having moved forward. Now, during retrograde, there's some things that may come up that may tempt you. Yeah, there's some things that's going to come up. And retrograde is actually going to be, I'm trying to see, I know it starts on either today or tomorrow. And it's going to last, let me see. I think it's going to last maybe for a week. No, for 2 weeks. It comes today and it's going to be here until August 10th. August 10th. So that's about 2 weeks or so, give or take. And so in these next 2 weeks, may be really important to remember why. Remember your why you made the change, why you stepped into your own lane. Especially if things are difficult right now. I get the sense like things feel a little difficult. The balance, maybe, something that's challenging you, staying balanced, avoiding putting yourself under certain things that you have already recognized that is not necessarily good or for your highest intention. I'll say that. And so these next 2 weeks is going to be a challenge to stay committed to yourself, to what you believe, to what you already has recognized as your truth, even when there is no truth around you, right? There's something about staying connected to yourself and trusting yourself. And the Three of Wands comes in as support, which is all about building. Like I was saying, this is for those that are already in this energy and you've been working on it. This retrograde represents a time of feeling like you're moving back or things are coming back around, but it's all illusion. The struggle is an illusion. Spirit is saying, carry on as if, and carry on as if. That's going to be the title of this. Okay. Carry on as if. That's what Spirit is saying, because it's an illusion. And so this particular time may be difficult. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something that you'll just whiz on through. For those that find things coming back around and being tempted in that way, or just having a difficulty, feeling like you don't really connect with a lot of truth, that's because you carry the truth. Okay. It is within you. Okay. Is what Spirit is saying. And so carry on as if, even in this time of Mercury retrograde, because you've already started the work. You see these little, I see them as ladders, right? You've already built a foundation and you've mastered, see how solid they are? You've mastered the foundation, and now it is time, or you're at a point now where you're moving forward. You're building on the next point. You're moving forward to what's next for whoever you are. And in building, you're not going to go back to the foundation, right? That doesn't make sense because you've already laid it. Now it's about moving forward, okay? And so this energy is supportive. Whatever you've built so far is grounded and stable. It's a firm foundation, and now you've been supported in that. So now that you can expand forward or move forward. And this comes to let you know that it's not so much of what's happening, right? Because the retrograde is an illusion. It's not so much of what's happening, but it's about you. It's about the energy that you're moving in or standing in, okay? Let's see what that is. What energy are you in right now? What energy are you in right now? The Magician. Listen, I can't make this stuff up. I can't. The Magician. And so for whoever you are, you're in a creative energy, a manifesting energy. I do feel like you are moving forward and expanding and exploring right now as we speak. And this message, it'll either resonate or it won't. And, you know if this is you. And so the The outcome is the Nine of Wands. This talks about being creative, getting creative, even though, right? Even though things could be difficult, this is embracing those difficulties with grace, navigating the challenges gracefully. What does that look like? Let me see a good example. What would be a good example of navigating challenges with grace? Nothing is really coming up immediately. I guess I could talk about a mother or a father, the difficulty of parenting. Like, say you are having a difficult time financially and you have like several mouths to feed, and like a mother can go in the kitchen and she can put together like an exquisite meal with very few things. We've been doing it for centuries, right? And so maybe you have a can of beans and maybe a head of lettuce and maybe a loaf of bread, and you put together this like elaborate spread and you season it up and it's so good, and you lay it out kind of like it's a feast, even though you're struggling big time. But the kids will never know because you navigate that struggle with such grace, and you use what you have and you prepare it and you lay it out and you put it together in such an exquisite way. The kids don't even realize that you guys are struggling because they, the food was so good and you laid it out in such a way to where it's like, okay. And many times that's what happens, right? Like, you are able to navigate the struggles as parents, as a mother, right? I'm speaking for myself, or as a father, in a way where kids don't even know until they get old enough to really compare and say, wait a minute, they got on Air Jordans, I got on Air Hortons. Like, right? We don't know until we get old enough to really compare and pay attention. We don't know, because all we know is our experience, right? But parents have a way of navigating struggle in such a beautiful way. I always have to give a shout out to the parents because it's such an honorable task to be given, to nurture a soul, into the world, it's just such an honorable task. And so that would be an example of navigating challenge. Now, you put it in your position, whatever challenge is present right now during retrograde, Spirit is saying you're about to navigate this thing like a bad ass. Okay. Move on as if, right? That's what Spirit is saying. Carry on as if, okay? And do the dang thing, and do it with grace too. Do it with style. Do it laughing. Do it, in a good sense of humor. Like, whatever that is that would demonstrate that creativity, even though it may be something difficult. Spirit is saying you got this. Not only do you got this, like, have fun with it. Get a little creative, right? And so right now I do feel like this is Mercury retrograde, but there's a lot of good energy. It was all major arcana: the High Priestess, the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, the World, and the Magician. So that's 5 cards out of 8. That was major arcana. Spirit is all in your stuff. I'm gonna say that. And so this is the message that's coming out. Let's see what's on the bottom. We have the Emperor on the bottom, the 4 of Coins, and the Judgment, the 3 of Swords, and the 4 of Wands. When it's all said and done, you'll see the fact that this is a sweat. This is another, plaque to put on your wall. Okay, no bueno. And so the energies that came out, I have Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius. And then I have the energy of, I believe this is Uranus with the World. I have Virgo and Gemini with the Magician, Sagittarius again with the 9 of Wands, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo with the Page of Wands, and the 3 of Wands, I have Aries, right? And so you could be any of those energies. Those could be heavy energies in your chart. You could have, interaction with these energies operating. And so however that resonates, this is all about, I feel like, the truth of this moment, and you understanding that lies within, especially right now in this moment. There's something about turning inwardly for truth. That's where it is. because you may not find it outside of yourself right now. It just is what it is. And that's okay too, because you have it within you. Okay. And so if you can't make that connection outwardly, then that means it's right inwardly. Your truth is inward. And that's something that you've already come to grips with. This is something that you already know. The world was in the past, which means you graduated into this energy long ago. There's something about the retrograde that may bring certain little things back up and tempt you to go back, but we're not going back. We're moving forward. So remember that. Remember why you decided. Remember why you decided, okay, to go a different path. Yeah. Remember why you decided to close that door. If that's concerning a relationship, I don't know why that's coming up. This could be for somebody. Remember why you decided to hop over into your own lane. Okay. There's a lot that may resurface here in the next 2 weeks or so, but it's just a reminder of why you made the decision. You stood on your own truth. Okay. And nothing's changed. It's become even more so now, is what Spirit is saying. And so that's the energy I have for today. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for stopping by. I think we made good timing. Until next time, thank you guys. My name's Letty, Blood Moon Oracle here. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you feel led. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Carry on as if. Bye.